I always figured the only blue pieces I would step on in my house were my son's plastic bricks scattered across the living room at 3 in the morning. Turns out, I was wrong about that. Before I get into it, do me a favor. Hit subscribe, tap like, and tell me in the comments what city you are watching from. My name is Mark Lawson. I am 39 years old, and I fix computers for a living. Not the movie kind where I crack into government systems or build a wild robot brain. I am the guy who shows up when Brenda in accounting forgets her password for the 15th time this month, or when the office printer chews every single sheet like it has a personal problem with hard work. Being the quiet information technology guy comes with a weird superpower. You see everything. People forget you are under their desk running cables. They talk right over your head like you are part of the furniture. They leave screens unlocked. They set phones face up. Their secrets sit out in the open, tossed around like confetti after a messy courthouse divorce. Which brings me to my wife, Lauren. Lauren Lawson, maiden name Morrison, 37, a marketing executive at Pinnacle Solutions. She wears power suits that cost more than my monthly paycheck and moves like she is auditioning to be the chief executive officer's wife in some glossy corporate drama. She is beautiful in a planned, sharp way, the kind of look that takes 2 hours and 3 different moisturizers every morning. We had been married 12 years, together 14. And for the last 6 months, something had shifted. Not the normal kind of drift couples get when life gets busy. This was the kind that makes you wonder if the person in your bed is planning your exit or replacing you altogether. It started small. More late nights. Phone calls taken in the other room. New lingerie that I never actually saw her wear. Her phone face down on the nightstand, locked up like it held national secrets instead of grocery lists and pictures of our neighbor's annoying cat. "You are being paranoid, Mark," she would say when I asked about the new habits. "I am up for a promotion. This is important for our future." Our future. Funny how folks talk about our future while hiding their phone the second you walk in the room. The turning point came on a Tuesday in March. I was doing laundry, because being the main paycheck does not excuse you from the housework when your wife is climbing the ladder, when I found something in the pocket of Lauren's blazer. A small, discreet bottle of blue pills. I am not a doctor, but I am pretty sure my wife does not have that kind of problem. And I knew for a fact those were not meant for me, since our love life lately had been as quiet as a cemetery at midnight. I stood in the laundry room holding that bottle like it was a smoking gun. In a way, it was. My first thought was calm. Well, that explains the new lingerie. My second thought was less calm and full of words my mother would have scrubbed out with soap. Here is where the information technology brain kicks in. We are problem solvers. When something does not work, we find another path. And when your wife is clearly seeing someone who needs a little pharmaceutical courage, you get creative. I slipped the bottle into my pocket and drove to the drugstore. I bought a bottle of over-the-counter sleeping pills, the little blue kind that look a whole lot like the other ones if you are not paying attention. Same size, same general shade, same innocent look. Back home, I ran what I called my swap plan. Every bright blue hero pill got replaced with a bright blue nap pill. Same bottle, same count. Very different outcome. "Mark," Lauren called from upstairs. "Have you seen my gray blazer? The one with the silver buttons?" "In the laundry room," I said, tucking the real blue pills into my toolbox. "Just finished washing it." She appeared in the doorway, rushed and a little scattered. Hair perfect, makeup flawless. But there was a flicker in her eyes that looked a lot like guilt. "Thanks," she said, snatching the blazer and patting the pockets. Her fingers found the bottle, and I watched her shoulders drop a notch. "I am going to be late tonight. Big presentation tomorrow, and Tyler and I need to go over the numbers." There it was, the name I had been hearing more and more the last few months. Tyler Grant, her teammate, her project partner, and, as I was starting to suspect, the man relying on pharmacy help. "Tyler's the one with the Range Rover, right?" I asked, acting casual while I folded a towel. "That is him," Lawrence said. "Really sharp guy? The company is lucky to have him." "I bet they are." I kissed her cheek. She smelled like expensive perfume, and something that felt like guilt. "Do not work too hard. I will probably be asleep when you get home." That is probably for the best. You know how cranky you get when your sleep schedule gets thrown off. If she only knew how off things were about to be. That night I sat in my home office with a client's computer open, but I was not working on it. I was digging into Tyler Grant. Social media is a gift if you know where to look. Tyler was 42, divorced, and he drove that Range Rover like it proved something. His Facebook photos showed the kind of confidence that usually belongs to a man who has never been punched. LinkedIn said he was Lauren's direct supervisor. My phone buzzed. A text from my wife. Working late. Do not wait up. Love you. I typed back. Love you too. Sweet dreams. 12 years of marriage teaches you a person's rhythm. Lauren believed she was subtle, but subtle was not her thing. She was more like a bull in a china shop, wearing designer heels. So when she announced a business retreat the next weekend, just her and Tyler, going over quarterly projections at a fancy hotel an hour outside the city, I did not pretend to be surprised. It is the Grand View Resort, she said, packing an overnight bag and not quite meeting my eyes. You know, the one with the spa and the golf course. Very professional atmosphere. Sounds romantic, I said. I mean professional. Very professional. Do not be ridiculous, Mark. This is work. Sure. That is why you are packing the black lingerie set. Her hand froze above the suitcase. It is comfortable for sleeping, right? Because nothing says quarterly projections like Victoria's Secret. I carried her bag to the car and played the part of the supportive husband. Drive safe, I said, giving her a hug. She hugged back with the enthusiasm people save for distant cousins at funerals. I will call you tonight, she promised. Looking forward to it. The second her tail lights turned the corner, I was in my car. I followed from far enough back to be boring. Modern tech makes people cocky. They think they are tech savvy, until they meet someone who actually is. Lauren's phone was still on our family plan, and she had left location services on. She had forgotten all about that setting. Grandview Resort looked exactly like the kind of place you take someone you want to impress. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, a lobby that whispers corporate expense account so softly you almost feel rude walking on the carpet. I parked across the street and watched Lauren and Tyler check in together, laughing at something on his phone. He was exactly what I pictured. Tall, a little silver at the temples, wearing a suit that probably cost more than my car payment. His hand rested on the small of her back as they headed to the elevator. She looked up at him like he had just invented fire. I gave them an hour to settle in, then called the front desk. Grand View Resort. This is Madison. How may I assist you? Hi, Madison. I am trying to reach my wife, Lauren Lawson. She is there for a business conference. I think she left her medication at home, and I want to make sure she does not need me to bring it. One moment while I check the guest list. I see Lauren Lawson checked in about an hour ago. Would you like me to connect you to her suite? Actually, could you tell me the room number? I would rather surprise her. I am sorry, sir. For security reasons, I cannot give out room numbers. I understand. Could you at least tell me if she is sharing with her colleague, Tyler Grant? I need to know whether to bring medication for both. A longer pause this time. Our records show Mr. Grant and Mrs. Lawson are registered in the same suite. Got it. Thank you, Madison. You have been very helpful. I hung up and settled in to wait. Based on my earlier switch, the sleeping pills should hit in about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on Tyler's metabolism and how much wine he had with dinner. I had done my homework. What I used was strong enough to drop a horse, but safe. He would wake up groggy, with a headache, and with questions he would not want to answer. At 10:47 in the evening, I got what I was waiting for. An ambulance rolled up to the front entrance. Lights flashing. No siren. I watched from my car as paramedics jogged inside with a gurney. About 20 minutes later, they came out with Tyler, awake, but woozy, and Lauren right behind them, wide-eyed and panicked. My phone rang. Mark. Her voice was high and shaky. Something terrible happened. What is wrong? Are you okay? It is Tyler. He collapsed during dinner. We were reviewing the deck, and he fell over, Lauren said, voice shaking. They are taking him to the hospital. Oh my God. Is he going to be all right? I do not know. The paramedic said it might be a reaction to medication, but Mark, this looks really bad. I mean, we were in his room going over numbers and what? Nothing. Never mind. I am going to follow the ambulance. Do you want me to come up there? No. She hurt herself and tried to soften it. I mean, no, there is no point. I will probably be home late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Okay, keep me posted. I will. I love you. Love you too. I hung up and let a small smile creep in. Round one to the information technology guy. But on the drive home, I knew this was only the start. Lauren and Tyler had made it through their first run-in with my little workaround, which meant they would be more careful now, more paranoid, more likely to hide their tracks. Fine by me. I was just getting warmed up. The next morning, my buddy Eddie Martinez called. He teaches high school gym and collects town gossip like other people collect baseball cards. Dude, you are not going to believe what I heard at the coffee shop, he said. No hello, just straight to it. Try me. Your wife's boss keeled over at some fancy hotel last night. People said food poisoning or something. But here is the weird part. He was not alone. I played dumb. Really? Was it a company thing? That is the story. But Janet Morrison, you know, the one who works at the hospital, said they brought him in asking about drug interactions, like he mixed something he should not have. Janet is Lauren's cousin. She works in the emergency room and spreads news faster than butter on toast. Huh, that is strange. Gets stranger, Eddie said. Janet said the woman who came in with him was acting nervous and guilty, like she knew more than she was saying. Some marketing executive. Super polished. Designer clothes, pricey handbag, wedding ring. I let silence do the work. I am sure it is nothing. Probably a bad reaction. Yeah, probably. But you know how people talk. Oh, I was counting on it. Small cities like Cedar Heights run on stories, especially when those stories include an ambulance, a luxury hotel, and married people who are not married to each other. By Monday morning, Tyler's little medical event had spread through Lauren's office like a computer virus. I know this because I have friends in the information technology department at Pinnacle Solutions. When you fix enough machines, people owe you favors. When your wife is sleeping with her boss, those favors suddenly matter. Mark, you need to hear this, said Danny Chun, calling from his desk at Pinnacle. Danny looks like he has not left a basement since middle school, but he tracks office chatter better than a soap opera writer. What is up? Your wife and Tyler Grant are the headline around here. Everyone says they were together at that hotel when he went down. Like together. People love to gossip, Danny. I am sure it is nothing. Maybe. But here is the kicker. Security cameras in the lobby show them checking in side by side, laughing, touching. And the hotel bar has them on video sharing drinks and getting cozy before they went upstairs. A cold, steady satisfaction settled in my chest. How do you know about the footage? Tyler's wife hired a private investigator. Gloria Grant is not stupid, and she has been suspicious for months. The private investigator pulled copies of everything. I had almost forgotten about Tyler's wife. Things were getting interesting. Danny, I need a favor. Name it. If any emails or messages float around that mention Lauren or Tyler, accidentally forward them to me. Can you do that? A pause. Are you sure you want to go down this road? I'm already on it. I just need to see where it ends. Within an hour, my inbox filled up, forwarded threads, office rumor, speculation, and one email chain that mattered more than all the rest. It was between Lauren and her friend Jenna Carlisle in Human Resources. Goldmine material. They had been planning that hotel retreat for weeks. Jenna supplied cover stories and schedule tweaks so no one would question why Lauren and Tyler were out together. They discussed birth control, Tyler's performance problems, and how to keep his wife from catching on. The most useful message was the newest one, sent that morning from Lauren. Lawson at Pinnacle Solutions. Calm. To Jenna. Carlisle at Pinnacle Solutions. Calm. Subject, damage control. Jenna, we need to talk as soon as possible. Tyler thinks someone might have tampered with his medication. He is paranoid. But what if he is right? What if Mark suspects something? We need to figure out how to handle this before it gets out of hand. Can you meet me for lunch? I stared at that for a long minute. Good. Paranoid people make mistakes. I forwarded the entire chain to a fresh address I had created, Sleeping Dogs. Lie at Proton Mail. Calm. Then I started planning phase 2. That evening, Lauren walked through the door like nothing had happened. She kissed my cheek, asked about my day, and started dinner like she had not just spent a weekend at a hotel with another man. How is Tyler feeling? I asked, slicing vegetables for the salad like it was any other night. She stiffened. Better. The doctors think it was just a reaction to some medication he had been taking. Nothing serious. That is good. Must have been scary, being there when it happened. It was terrifying. One minute we are reviewing quarterly reports. The next minute he is unconscious on the floor. On the floor? I thought you said he collapsed at dinner. A beat. He did. I mean, the restaurant floor. In his room. I kept my tone mild. She turned, face carefully blank. What is that supposed to mean? Nothing. I just thought hotel restaurants usually live in the lobby, not in the guest rooms. Mark, what are you getting at? I shrugged. Nothing. I am glad you both are okay. But I could see the math running behind her eyes. She was trying to figure out how much I knew, how much I suspected, and how deep she was in. The answer was more than she guessed. Over the next few days, I launched what I called Operation Gaslight. Nothing loud. Nothing that pointed straight at me. Just small nudges designed to make Lauren and Tyler uneasy. I mailed Tyler's wife a sympathy card at her office, signed the Lawson family. I used a return address that would bounce back to Lauren if Gloria decided to look into it. I spun up a fake social media account and followed both Lauren and Tyler, liking posts at just the right time so it felt like someone was watching. I left a bottle of sleeping pills on Lauren's desk at home, right where she would see it, with a note. Thought you might need these for your insomnia. A friend. And I started appearing in places I knew they would be. The coffee shop near Pinnacle Solutions. The restaurant they used for business lunches. The parking garage where Tyler parked his Range Rover. I never spoke to them. I just made sure they saw me. Made sure they felt eyes on them. Paranoia did the rest. Mark, I need to ask you something, Lauren said one evening, cornering me in the kitchen. Have you been following me? Following you? What do you mean? Jenna said she saw you at Starbucks yesterday when I had coffee with Tyler. And Tyler swears he saw you in the parking garage at work. I go to Starbucks all the time. It is a free country. And I had a service call at the building next to your office. Is there a problem? She studied my face for tells. 12 years together had taught me how to hide mine as well as she hid hers. No, she said finally. No problem. I just thought it was a weird coincidence. Life is full of weird coincidences, I said. Like your boss collapsing right after taking medication that is not supposed to cause that kind of reaction. The color drained from her face. What do you mean? Nothing. Just talking. We both knew I meant everything. The last push came from a text thread between Lauren and Jenna. I had installed monitoring software on our home router, completely legal, my network, that let me see the traffic passing through it. Jenna, Tyler's wife, is asking questions. She hired a private investigator. Lauren, how much do you think she knows? Lauren, enough to be dangerous. We need to be more careful. Jenna, what if Mark is behind this? Lauren, who, what? Jenna, never mind. Meet me tomorrow. We need a plan. That night, I lay in bed beside my wife, listening to her breathe and sketching my next move. She was scared. He was probably worse, wondering if someone had tried to poison him and jumping at shadows. They had no idea how much bigger the shadow was about to get. The next morning, I made the decision that changed everything. No more hints. No more gentle pushes. Time to go loud. I called in sick and spent the morning setting the table. Then I drove to Tyler's neighborhood and parked across from his house. Gloria Grant looked exactly like I imagined. Mid-40s, well put together, the kind of woman who had built her life around her husband's career and was now watching it crack in real time. I walked to the door and rang the bell. Mrs. Grant? My name is Mark Lawson. I think we should talk. She took in my jeans, my polo shirt, my practiced, worried expression. I am sorry, do I know you? My wife works with your husband, Lauren Lawson. I believe they were together when Tyler had his medical emergency last weekend. Her face hardened. I see. And what exactly do you want to talk about, Mr. Lawson? I think our spouses are having an affair, and I think someone needs to do something before it gets worse. She stared at me, then stepped aside and motioned me in. Her living room was a museum of a marriage in trouble, wedding photos, family trips, anniversaries. Every milestone neatly framed while the life underneath had been eaten away by Tyler's wandering eye and Lauren's ambition. How long have you known? Gloria asked, pouring coffee with hands that trembled a little. A few months, I said. You? Longer. She gave a tired laugh. Tyler has had flings for years, but this one feels serious. She set a cup in front of me, and Saturday, my private investigator has photographs, hotel receipts, email pulls, the works. Enough to burn everything down in a divorce. I have not used it yet. Why not? I was waiting for the right moment. Tyler is up for a promotion that would set us for life. I wanted to see if he would shut it down after he got what he wanted. I leaned in. Gloria, I do not think they are planning to stop. I think they are planning to level it up. I showed her what I had. Intercepted emails, text messages, timestamps. With each page her jaw set tighter. They are not just cheating, I said. They are coordinating it. Cover stories. People run as interference. Now they are spooked, which means they will take bigger risks. What do you propose? We give them something real to be nervous about. Over the next hour, we built what I now call the scorched earth plan. She brought money, connections, and a private investigator who did not mind coloring outside the lines. I brought my skill set, tech, access to their communications, and a mean streak that comes out when I am pushed. Target number 1. The office holiday party that Friday at Pinnacle Solutions headquarters. Lauren had circled it on the calendar for weeks. She saw it as her chance to glow next to Tyler with just enough work cover to make it look respectable. It is big for networking, she told me. Tyler and I will probably spend the evening discussing the Henderson account with potential clients. Right? I had said. Nothing says Henderson account like slow dancing to Frank Sinatra. I was going to claim a work emergency and skip it. Gloria talked me out of that. You have to be there. When this lands, you need to look shocked. Clean. Like you had no clue. The party took over the main conference space, silver and gold streamers, a fancy bar setup that probably cost more than most people's rent. Lauren wore a black cocktail dress I had never seen. Tyler looked like a men's magazine ad. They were trying to play it cool, but little things slipped out. Hands brushing, hushed huddles in corners, the glances they thought nobody noticed. At 9:30 p.m. sharp, Gloria's private investigator arrived. Compact. All business. Sarah Chun carried a briefcase and the look of someone who came to do a job. Excuse me, she said at the bar, addressing them both. Tyler Grant. Lauren Lawson. I am Sarah Chun. I have documents you need to review. The room thinned to silence. Conversations cut off mid-word. The bartender stopped mid-shake with a martini tin in his hands. Sarah snapped open the briefcase and laid out the stack. Surveillance stills from the hotel, credit card slips, printed emails. Mr. Grant, she said, your wife has filed for divorce. These are copies of evidence that will be entered into the record. Mrs. Lawson, I believe your husband will want to see this as well. She handed me a manila envelope. My hands shook, more from the effort of keeping a straight face than from nerves. Inside were photos. Lauren and Tyler walking into the hotel, kissing in the elevator, coming out of the same suite the next morning. Oh my God, I said loud enough for the room. Lauren, what is this? Chaos. People pressed in to see. Voices spiked. Phones came out like prairie dogs. Lauren went sheet white. Tyler looked seasick. Mark, I can explain. Explain what? I cut in. Explain how you lied for months. Explain how you were sleeping with your boss while I sat at home thinking we were working through a rough patch. It is not what it looks like. It looks like my wife made me into a joke in front of everyone we know. I knew I was performing. It still felt good to stop pretending. Tyler tried to step forward. Mark, let us discuss this rationally. Rationally. I turned to him, letting 12 years of swallowed anger give me a spine. You want to be rational? Let us rationally talk about how you collapsed in a hotel room with my wife after taking medication that someone tampered with. The air went dead. Tyler went from pale to green. That is right, I said, voice steady. I know about the blue pills. I know about the sleeping pills. I know the whole story. Tyler stumbled back, hit a table, and sent glasses crashing. You tried to poison me. I tried to give you a full night's sleep, I said. Seemed like you needed rest more than you needed anything else. People ate it up. Phones up. Whispers everywhere. I spotted Jenna Carlisle in the corner, looking like she wished the floor would swallow her. Lauren grabbed my arm. Mark, please, can we talk about this privately? Privately? Like how you have been privately sleeping with your boss for 6 months. I pulled my arm free. We are past private. Do you not think? Security arrived. Too late to matter. By the time they walked us out, half the room had posted clips online, and the other half were speed-dialing friends. Tyler's future at Pinnacle Solutions looked finished. Lauren's reputation was in pieces, and I was only getting started. In the parking lot, Tyler made the mistake of grabbing my shoulder and spinning me around. You could have killed me with those pills. But I did not, I said calm. I gave you a nap. I will admit, it was satisfying to watch the paramedics roll you out of that hotel. He swung. Bad move. I had been taking self-defense classes for 2 months, ever since I began planning this. He had a luxury suit and a fancy car. I had preparation and a lot of stored-up anger. I slipped the punch, caught his wrist, and used his momentum to lay him across the hood of his precious Range Rover. The impact set off the alarm. Lights flashed. Siren blared. Stay down. I told him as he tried to rise. And stay away from my wife. Your wife came to me, he gasped. She is the one who. I grabbed his expensive tie and pulled him in close. My wife is many things, Tyler. But she is still my wife. And you are nothing. You are a middle-aged man with performance problems who preys on married women because you cannot stand being alone. Here is what happens next. You leave Pinnacle Solutions. You leave Cedar Heights. You disappear from our lives. If I hear your name near mine again, I will make tonight look polite. I let go. He scrambled up, straightened his jacket, and looked at the ring of onlookers. This is not over, he said. It is, I said. You just do not know it yet. He drove off with the alarm still shrieking and his pride dragging behind the bumper. It felt good, better than anything had felt in months. But I knew we were not done. Lauren stood by her car, crying and thumbing at her phone. Probably Jenna. Probably hunting for a way to spin the wreckage. She would need more than advice. The fallout was everything I hoped for. By Saturday morning, the party clips were trending on local feeds. By Sunday, regional news picked it up. Local executives' affair exposed at company party is not a headline anyone wants on a resume. Lauren spent the weekend in full damage control, calling friends, relatives, co-workers, trying to sell a news story. I listened from my home office, watching our phone and internet traffic with the focus of a National Aeronautics and Space Administration mission controller. It is not what it looks like, she repeated. Mark is having some kind of breakdown. He has been following me. He is making wild accusations. But the proof was too clear and the public slapped too loud. On Monday, Pinnacle Solutions put both Lauren and Tyler on administrative leave while they opened an investigation. Gloria Grant filed for divorce and asked for half of everything plus alimony. Lauren's helpers, the same people who ran cover, suddenly could not find time to return her calls. I played the part of the blindsided husband like I was up for an award. I showed up to work with dark circles. I told anyone who would listen how broken I felt. Neighbors dropped off sympathy casseroles, and I thanked them like a man who never saw it coming. I just do not understand how I missed the signs, I told Eddie over beers on Tuesday night. She said she was working late. I believed her. I thought we had a good marriage. You did have a good marriage, Eddie said. She is the one who wrecked it. I keep replaying every lie. Every time she looked me in the eye and told me she was at the office when she was with him. How do you come back from that? Maybe you do not, Eddie said. Maybe you move forward. Moving forward was exactly the plan. But I had one last item on the list. On Wednesday evening, while Lauren was out to dinner with her sister, one of the few relatives still taking her calls, I launched the final phase. I had been laying the groundwork for weeks, opening new accounts, moving money, and meeting with attorneys about the legal lines I was about to walk. Everything on my list was lawful, even if it did not feel sporting. First, I cleared out our joint savings. Every dollar from 12 years of marriage moved, through a string of transfers, into an account in my name only. The account was joint. I had equal access. Given that divorce was now a win, not an if, I was securing marital assets the clean way. Next, I changed the locks. That was legal too. The deed is in my name alone, a tax decision we made years ago that turned out to be a gift I never expected. Then I packed Lauren's life into boxes and lined them up in the garage. Clothes, jewelry, books, her stack of motivational business guides. Every last thing labeled and sorted like I ran a very particular moving company. Finally, I printed the record. Emails, text threads, photos, hotel receipts, credit card statements. A neat timeline of her affair with Tyler, put together with the thoroughness of a federal case file. I set the packet on the kitchen table with a note. Lauren, I have gathered what you will need for the divorce. As you can see, I have known about your relationship with Tyler for some time. I have also taken steps to protect my finances, which I am sure you will understand. Your belongings are in the garage. The locks have been changed. You may pick up your things by appointment. Please call first. I have filed for divorce on the grounds of adultery. My attorney will contact you. I hope Tyler is worth it. Mark. Postscript, you might want to find a new place to stay. I hear Tyler is looking for a roommate. When Lauren came home and found herself locked out, it unfolded exactly how I pictured. First came the doorbell, over and over, then fists on the door and my name shouted like a siren. When that failed, she called me. I had blocked her number hours earlier. I watched from the bedroom window like a director at a premiere. She tried the back door, the garage, even the old basement entry. She called a locksmith. He showed up, but when she could not prove residency, her driver's license still had her maiden name and an old address. He refused to open someone else's house. At last she called the police. 2 officers arrived around 10 in the evening, just as I was getting ready for bed. I answered in pajamas, wearing a confused, hurt look. "Officers, what is going on?" "Sir, there is a woman here who says she lives at this address," one said. "She does not have keys and claims you changed the locks. Is this your residence?" "Yes. I am Mark Lawson, and this is my home." I showed my driver's license and the property deed. "The woman is my wife, Lauren. We are divorcing." "She says you locked her out illegally." "I changed the locks on my house, which I am allowed to do as the sole owner. Her property is boxed in the garage. She is welcome to collect it. She does not live here anymore." The officers glanced at each other and then at Lauren, who stood in the yard like she had been hit by a truck. "Ma'am," one said, "if the home is in his name and you are divorcing, he has the right to change the locks. You will need to work out living arrangements through your attorneys." "But I do not have anywhere to go," she said. "That is a civil issue, ma'am, not a police matter." After they left, Lauren stayed in the driveway making calls. Friends, family, anyone willing to listen. Through the window I caught pieces. He has lost his mind, changed all the locks, took the money, just for one night until I figure this out. Eventually, Jenna Carlisle pulled up in her Honda Civic. They loaded the essentials and drove off, leaving the rest of Lauren's life stacked in my garage like artifacts from a failed civilization. I slept better than I had in months. The next morning brought fresh theater. Tyler, apparently feeling guilty about Lauren's housing problem, decided to play the hero. He rolled up around 8 in the morning, Range Rover gleaming, suit worth more than most people's rent. "Mark, we need to talk," he called, climbing out. I stepped onto the porch with a coffee in hand, calm as a lake. "Tyler, what a surprise. I thought you would have left town by now. I know you are angry, but punishing Lauren will not fix anything. She needs a place to stay." "She had one," I said. "She gave it up when she chose you." "This is ridiculous," he said. "You cannot just put your wife out on the street," Tyler said. "I cannot." I kept my voice even. "Let me explain something. This is my house. My name is on the deed. I pay the mortgage. Lauren gave up the right to live here when she chose an extramarital life. If you are so worried about her, offer her your couch." "My wife kicked me out," he said, and for the first time I heard real panic. "I am staying in a hotel." "That sounds like a you problem." He stepped closer. Anger tightened his jaw. "You think you are so clever. You think you won." "I do not think I won anything," I said. "I just stopped losing. This is not over." "Actually, it is. You made one big mistake." I lifted my coffee. "You thought I was just a boring information technology guy who would never push back. You thought you could steal my wife and I would accept it like some spineless clown. Here is what you do not understand. Boring information technology guys fix problems. And you, Tyler, were a problem." I sipped and looked at him over the rim. "Here is how this works. You climb into your overpriced sport utility vehicle. You drive away from my house. And you do not contact me or Lauren again. Because if you do, I will make the holiday party look like a warm-up. You are threatening me. I am educating you. There is a difference." He stared me down, weighing his odds. Part of me hoped he would swing. I was more than ready to finish what started in that parking lot. But he surprised me. He got back in the Range Rover and left without another word. That afternoon, my attorney called. "Mark, I heard from Lauren's lawyer. She is willing to talk settlement." "What kind of settlement?" "Half the house, half the savings, and alimony. In exchange, she will agree to a no-fault divorce." I actually laughed. "Counteroffer? Nothing. I have documented proof of adultery, which kills alimony under state law. The deed is in my name only, so no stake in the house. And the savings, let us say my side is protected." "Are you sure you want to play hardball?" he asked. "Divorces can get ugly." "They can," I said. "But I have photographs, emails, hotel receipts, and around 50 witnesses who saw her meltdown at the company party. How ugly do you think she wants it?" 3 days later, Lauren signed. No contest, no alimony, no claim to the house or the savings. She kept her personal things, her car, and whatever was left of her pride. Tyler left town the next week. Word was he grabbed a job in another state, trying to outrun the mess. Gloria Grant got the house, the investments, and a very generous alimony package. Jenna Carlisle was fired from Pinnacle Solutions for running cover with company resources. Turns out, helping a friend's affair is not a corporate benefit. Me? I kept my job, my house, and my savings, and something I had not felt in months: peace of mind. 6 months later, I ran into Lauren at a downtown coffee shop. She was working as a receptionist at a small marketing firm, living in a studio, driving a 10-year-old Honda Civic. She looked older and worn down, like someone who finally met the bill for her choices. "Mark," she said, stopping at my table. "How are you?" "I am well," I said. "How are you settling in?" "It has been an adjustment." She swallowed. "You probably do not want to hear this, but I am sorry. I made awful choices. I hurt you. You did not deserve that." I searched her face for the old tricks. I did not see any. Just regret. "You are right," I said. "I did not deserve it. But maybe we both learned something." "What did you learn?" I thought about it. That I am stronger than I gave myself credit for. That I do not have to accept being treated badly just to avoid a fight. And that when someone shows you who they are, you should believe them the first time. Tears pooled in her eyes. I learned that some mistakes do not come with an undo button. Some consequences follow you. "That is the hardest kind," I said. We talked a few minutes more, polite, distant, like neighbors, not former spouses sifting through wreckage. When she left, I felt something unexpected: sympathy. Not enough to take her back. Not enough to erase what she did. Just enough to hope she would choose better. I never saw Tyler again. But 6 months after that, I got a wedding invitation from Gloria Grant, now Gloria Chun. She had married Sarah Chun, the private investigator who helped blow the lid off. Inside was a handwritten note. "Mark, thank you for having the courage to do what needed doing. Some sleeping dogs deserve to be woken. Gloria." I did not go, but I sent a good gift and a card, wishing you both the happiness you deserve. In the end, that is what this whole mess came down to: people getting what they earned. Lauren faced the price of her choices. Tyler lost the things he valued more than his integrity. And I got what I should have had all along: respect and honesty from the person beside me, or the freedom to walk away until I found it. It took 2 years to rebuild, to trust again, to stop seeing secrets in every shadow. But I rebuilt. Stronger. Cleaner. And I never needed another sleeping pill again.